Alright, so this video is about Bhringraj oil, which is a herbal infused oil made with coconut oil and Eclipta herb, which I have a bag of here. And then this is the infused oil. It's infused in coconut oil. And you put this on your scalp. I currently have it. I put it in last night, and as a result my hair is somewhat greasy, but not too greasy. But I will go wash it out after this video. Anyway, this oil is a famous oil in Ayurveda, which is Vedic medicine, which is Vedic philosophy is the ancient scriptures that Hinduism is based on. So think India, it is India, 9,000 years ago or so. And in Ayurveda, Eclipta is known as king of hair for its therapeutic purposes, and king of bees for its botanical purposes. So I guess bees are particularly attracted to their flowers. But as an herb, it's very potent for hair, and it's used in Chinese medicine as well as homeopathy for hair loss issues. So in this video I'm going to go over Vedic philosophy and how this oil fits in with Vedic philosophy as applied to male pattern baldness. And I'm not an expert at Ayurveda, but I'm getting better fast. So anyway, give it a whirl. So in Vedic philosophy, which is the overarching philosophy for Ayurveda, which is Vedic medicine, everything is composed of 5 elements. So in Chinese medicine there are 5 elements, in Ayurveda there are 5 elements. And this Ayurveda is more similar to Galenic Renaissance and Paracelsus philosophy with the 4 elements, and then plus the 5th quintessential ether element. Anyway, so the 5 elements that everything composes everything on Earth is earth, water, fire, air, and ether, which most people are familiar with. But then in Ayurveda, those 5 elements reorganize themselves into 3 primary energy patterns that are in us and then also cycle throughout the day and are in everything. So like basically the elements pair up and then become these energy patterns, and then those have like a really strong influence on everything. So earth and water combine to make the kapha energy pattern. Water and fire make pitta, and then air and ether make vata. And in terms of male pattern baldness, the two, I guess the imbalance that occurs is in this pitta element, which is the balance of fire and water, which like in Chinese medicine, you're balancing male and female. That's this dosha. So fire is male, female is water. Right? You're overly male, you're going to have too much fire. And the problem with fire is that it creates scalp heat in Ayurveda, which I'll get to. And then the other element issue is you have too much vata relative to kapha. So kapha is very earthy, very grounded. Vata is very airy, and they both have different strengths and weaknesses. You can get too lethargic with kapha, and you can be too scattered and active with vata. And so with male pattern baldness, often there's a vata to kapha imbalance where vata is pronounced. So since vata is air and ether, it's like air is movement, and then that movement creates instability, and you get a lot of shedding. So the pitta element, or the pitta imbalance, is you're going to get pattern loss, more so in graying. With vata imbalance, you're going to get more shedding. So that would be like diffuse thing. And also, the vata to kapha imbalance will exacerbate a pitta imbalance because air feeds fire. So if you get too airy, even if you're not like by nature overly fire compared to water, meaning like overly active compared to restful and meditative and going with the flow, being overly airy will make it so that you are more fire relative to water. So anyway, let's go to the kind of like male pattern baldness theory in Ayurveda, which pretty interesting and fits well into with Chinese medicine to a fair degree. So anyway, so you have this problem with scalp heat. So pitta imbalance, you got too much heat, too much fire compared to water. The water can't counteract the fire. And the seat of the pitta is in the head. So there's a natural tendency for that heat if you have an imbalance of fire to water, to concentrate at the head of the pit of body, which is the head, or the seat of the pit of body, which is the head. So you get a lot of scalp heat at the crown in particular. All right, so a lot of heat concentrating at the crown, and that heat will do damage to the hair follicle and the tissue around the hair follicle. So the damage to the hair follicle, I think, makes it fall, and then the damage to the tissue around the hair follicle will make the hair lose its color, its pigmentation. So you get graying and burnt hair that won't grow back. And then the other thing is that it will do damage to the scalp heat will do damage to the metabolic pathways. That's more like the veins, but it's a little more than the veins and the arteries. More arteries, veins. So the metabolic pathways are like delivery of nutrients, and then the taking away of the waste. So it creates damages in those pathways where that can cause obstructions and blockages, and so you don't have free-flowing nutrients and waste, and so the hairs suffer as a result. And then the third thing that scalp heat particularly does is it scatters prana. Prana is the Vedic term for chi in Chinese medicine, which is life force. So heat destabilizes the flow of life force, so it becomes incoherent and doesn't get to where it's supposed to be. So scalp heat really bad. It's going to impede nutrients, so blood mostly, and then it's going to impede prana, which is life force. So blood and life force flow to the hair. Hair needs both, and scalp heat is bad for both. So that's the main problem with hair loss. The main pathogen with in Ayurvedic philosophy, and Vedic philosophy, in Ayurveda. Alright, so the strategy is you want to reduce scalp heat. And then the second thing you want to do is remove toxins. So toxins can accumulate, it does get caused by too much heat in the body, because that will cause digestive distress, and anytime you have poor digestion, you generate toxins, and then those toxins will coat the scrotas, the metabolic pathways, and impede the flow of nutrients and waste. And they'll also obstruct prana, because blood and prana kind of flow together. So if there's an obstruction with the flow of blood, there's going to be obstruction with the flow of prana, which is life force. So it obstructs both. Toxins obstruct both blood and prana. And that's caused by excess heat and also some other lifestyle factors, which is often why improving your lifestyle can make your hair quality improve, which I've had experience with. And then the last thing is rejuvenation. So like with scalp heat, it will deplete your ojas. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm not sure. Which is like essence in Chinese medicine. It's like your source of vitality, which really aligns with Chinese medicine. Too much yang will deplete your yin. When your kidneys are your biggest yin organ, depletes your essence. Too much yang just burns through essence. Too much heat burns through ojas, burns through your vitality. I think that's kind of the same thing that's going on there in the philosophies. And the other, so when you deplete the ojas, that's really tied to bone tissue. Like kidney essence is tied to the kidneys system. This houses the essence, is the organ in Chinese medicine that governs the bones. And so skeletal structure and kidney health and hair, kidneys also grow the hair, they're all connected. Same thing in Ayurveda. Bone tissue is an indication of overall health, and then your hair is a reflection of the health of your bone tissue. It's a reflection of ojas. So your vitality is reflected in your hair, but it's a reflection of your bone tissue health, which is a reflection of your overall vitality. And I also want to rejuvenate the pathways. So the heat will do damage to those metabolic pathways, and so those need to be repaired to restore the flow of nutrients and prana. All right, so we got to get rid of scalp heat, remove toxins that are causing all these obstructions, and then focus on rejuvenation, restore the ojas, restore the bone tissue health, repair the pathways, better ojas, better skeletal health, better hair. And that's kind of a bonus, but really this is kind of this really is the main focus, and these two are just like, hey, we better do that, better address this as well. All right, so move over. All right, amateur hour video making. Not gonna edit this. All right, so in Bhringraj oil, which I said is Eclipta. So Bhringraj is Eclipta, which is it's the herb that I was mentioning at the beginning. The Indian word for it is Bhringraj, which actually is like the functional or the therapeutic name for Eclipta. Bhringraj, I think, means king of... Actually, no, I don't think it does. Anyway, I think it is king of bear, actually. I forget. Anyway, so that's the main ingredient in the formula, the herb, which I'll post a link to, not an affiliate link, just where I got this. I can't make any money off it, just for information. It's pretty easy to get, and it's cheap. Anyway, so Bhringraj, or Eclipta, is very good at, or is a prime choice for the main herb because it addresses all three things that need to be addressed. It eliminates heat, so that's why it's used internally in Chinese medicine as a blood cooler, a very effective blood cooler, specifically for the liver, which is a very important organ for blood, and the kidneys, right, which just purges heat from your body. Very potent cooling herb internally, and you should probably take Eclipta internally as well as externally, which I'll get to in a second. It is also a good detoxifier because it has a bitter and astringent flavor, and anything bitter and astringent is detoxifying. So it's going to help clear the ama, the toxins. That's the Indian word for toxins. Ama is toxins. Helps clear the ama, the buildup, the toxic buildup in the metabolic pathways to restore the free flow of nutrients and prana. And then the third thing that it is, which is why you should take it internally, is that it's a Rayasana, which I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Rayasana means rejuvenation tonic. And that's really consistent with Chinese medicine because it's a kidney herb, kidney and liver herb. If you break the branches of the Eclipta plant, I think it's like a bush or something, plant bush kind of thing, it'll bleed this black liquid. And anything black is kidney, and anything kidney is all about your essence, your yin, your stored energy, your vitality. So that black cooling oil is going to be really beneficial for the kidneys, which benefits the bone tissue, which helps with your ojas and your essence. It's going to reflect in your hair. And really good for repairing, I guess, topically it would be really good. I guess you're not going to get the systematic bone tissue effect, but like if you apply it to your scalp, you're probably going to get more of a pathway repair kind of benefit, and repairing all those metabolic pathways that have been damaged by the heat. So yeah, internally get that systematic rejuvenation on the head. Just hit the scalp, hit the metabolic pathways. Get some vitality back, some building materials in there so that you can repair the damage. All right, so this hits all three. And then you have some supportive herbs as well, which I didn't use in the oil that I made, but I'm going to use in the next one. And I think just alone it kind of works really well based on the last few weeks of using it. But anyway, so Brahmi is another kind of Eclipta type plant, really good at cooling the scalp, really good at purging heat. But its main benefit is that it calms the nervous system, which is probably why it's probably good to take internally as well, occasionally. So that's going to really be good for the Vata, right? Because you get Vata types, they're a little bit anxious, they get a little nervous system disorder, like me. I'm going really fast right now. So Brahmi is going to help calm the nervous system, calm the Vata. It's going to pacify the Vata, and in doing so, it's going to be really good for cooling the flames, helping restore balance to the Pitta, and also we're kind of grounding the Vata, which I might have said. I'm not so sure. I lose track of things because I'm too Vata. Forgetfulness is a Vata trait, which I have a lot of. And then the third herb to include is amla berry. And amla is also cooling, but it's a really good detoxifier. So it's going to enhance the detoxifying benefit of the Eclipta herb. So really clearing the ama buildup. Also good to take internally, help get rid of toxins in your body. So yeah, really good, like topically and internally, and you get a whole systematic approach if you do both, which I'm doing, and I think it's working based on just a few weeks. Anyway, and then the other things you want to include are goat milk, or goat milk was traditionally included. And goat milk is there to provide some more nutrients, some more nourishment, as well as moisturize, protect the hair follicles from dryness and heat, which is, you expect moisture would. It also helps with the cooking process. It's kind of like, it indicated to me that all of the solids had kind of, all the water had evaporated, and it was just the oil that was left over. Because that's how you make it. You gotta mix a water decoction with the herbs, with the oil, with the goat's milk, and then you heat all that up until all of the water goes away. And if you want you want the recipe for that, I'm gonna post a link to the webpage on my website where I detail basically all this plus like how to make this stuff. And then maybe I'll put like a link to somewhere you can buy, because it's not that uncommon to buy, but like I think it's more fun to make it. So I'm posting the recipe that I used. And then the last thing is coconut oil. So the oily base is important. So traditionally it's made with sesame oil, but sesame is more warming, which could exacerbate the pitta. So I made one with sesame, and I didn't like how it turned out. And then I made the second with coconut oil, and I kind of like, I just got a better feel for it, or better feel from it. So I don't know. I'm going with the coconut oil, and it's a cooling oil, like I said. So that'll help with the pitta, and then also the oiliness, whether it's sesame or coconut, will counteract the vata. So oiliness is associated with the earth element, kapha. So it'll help ground the hair, keep the hair from moving, from being susceptible to wind, to movement. It'll stop shedding, basically. But like philosophically with the elements, that's how it is explained. Because the philosophical, the poetic is the same as the objective and the subjective are kind of the same thing in all these philosophies. Philosophical is the same as the actual, right? They have to meet up, which is completely different than material science. There's no poetry in material science. It's all, take this. It affects this hormone or whatever. Transactional medicine. I don't like that. Tried it, didn't work. Now I'm going with the energetic, spiritual stuff. So that's it. That's Bhringraj oil. I didn't want to, like I said, I'll post a link for how to make it. And it takes a while to make, but it's kind of interesting. And I can do it anyway. Other people can do it. I'm not a master herbalist or alchemist or anything special. Like, I'm just an amateur. I think I made a pretty decent oil. There's a little bit of solid there at the bottom that I probably should have filtered out, but whatever. It's probably okay. I gotta go wash this oil out of my hair. And I don't use like regular shampoo. I use Ayurvedic shampoo, which is like soap berries and amla. And then I do a hair rinse, which I'll make a video about soon. Yeah, so link to my website, that particular page for Bhringraj is in the description, and in general it's hairlossalchemy.com. I do videos about these old ways of doing things, resurrecting the ancient foundations of medicine and applying them in modern times, because I think that the new stuff is all bullcrap, and the old stuff is totally valid. So there you go. Here's the video.